Hi, welcome to another IGCSE GCSE Business Studies video, where today we're going to be talking about the marketing mix and namely product, which is chapter number 12. Now previously we've already studied about what is marketing and the different kind of market research we conduct. So today we're going to move on forward to what consists of marketing as a whole. So the marketing mix refers to all the activities that go into marketing a product or a service. Generally, the marketing mix consists of 4 P's, which are product, price, place, and promotion. So each of these P's are like a pillar of the marketing mix, which together holds up a house. Each of these pillars are very important, and if those pillars do not support each other, then they cannot stand. So when you're developing a strategy of marketing, you have to consider all the P's together. So the product is a very important component. Then you have to get the right price at which it's sold. You have to get it to the right place so that consumers have access to it. And you have to have the right type of promotion so that consumers actually are aware of your product. So think about, before we talk about all the things about product, let's look at the different kind of products that a business can actually produce. So there are 4 types of products, namely, you can categorize them in 2 ways. A business may produce a product for another business or for customers. So you've got consumer goods and consumer services. Now, consumer goods are the items that are produced for the consumption of the average consumer. Think about your PlayStation, your clothing, furniture, anything that is basically made for the consumer, headphones, anything that is close to you that you're using right now is a consumer good. Consumer services, on the other hand, are services provided to consumers by a company. So think about education, styling your hair, repairing cars, anything else that is providing a service to you. So then we move on to a business producing goods for other businesses, namely producer goods. So producer goods are used so that another business can function. Lorries are used for transportation. Then we have machineries to help with production. And producer services are those services that help the business function as a whole. We have sometimes the business may actually outsource certain aspects of their business. So outsourcing meaning they do not want to conduct it themselves, and they want to let specialist agencies conduct it for them. So think about accounting firms, think about insurance firms and advertising agencies. These are the different kind of service providers that provide services to other businesses. So we move on to understanding what makes the right product. So this is the $1 billion question that everyone wants to know. So when we look back at what a business is an organization that tries to satisfy consumers, tries to identify and satisfy consumer needs and wants. So a product has to satisfy the consumer's needs and wants. Now, when you think about the consumer, you always have to produce the right quality at the right price. So this is very carefully worded, because quality does not have to be excessive. So think about your vacuum cleaner. Your vacuum cleaner is used to clean the floor. Now, if you had an LCD screen on top of the vacuum cleaner, some may say the quality has increased because you can watch TV while you're vacuuming. But then again, would most people actually look for a product that way? Because if you included certain functions like the LCD TV on top of the vacuum cleaner, the price would increase. And would that be the right price? So trying to get the combination of right quality and right price is very important. Then we move on to the cost of production. So if your production costs are really high, that then they squeeze your margin of profit. Remember, the profit equation is revenue minus costs, which is your profit. We'll learn that in the future. So you have to make sure that your production costs remain optimum. The product must be designed to fit the brand image. So if you have a very expensive car, if you have an expensive car that, auto manufacturer that produces luxury cars, then the product design must reflect the luxury status that with its brand name. So when you hear the name Mercedes, or when you hear the name Aston Martin, or a Ferrari, you'd naturally expect something really good. So the product itself must perform according to standards. There are legislations where your product has to be of right quality. When you receive a certain product, then you as a consumer expect it to perform, and it should. Okay. So most businesses, large or small, try to produce new products that keep them competitive because they continuously want to adapt with the environment. Many of the goods and services that we used 20 years ago are now obsolete. Think about the CD player, think about Walkmans. So every time you gotta keep innovating, evolving in order to remain competitive. The costs and benefits of developing new products. So when you're developing a new product, it allows you to create a unique selling point. A new product has features that do not exist in the current market. So because of this, it gives them a competitive advantage, and it makes them attractive to consumers over other competitors' goods. It also helps diversify risks. So when you have existing products that are doing well, there is a chance that they might fail in the future because of changes in technology or changes in fashion and taste. And if it fails, you don't have to worry because you have a new product that is performing well for you that replaces the old product. It also allows you to expand into new markets or existing markets. So you can actually enter, say, for example, if you're a food manufacturer and you want to enter a new industry, such as the IT industry, and then you release a new product. So when you develop a new product, you can actually breach into new markets, and then you can develop more sales and profits and etc. So think about the early Walkmans, the cassette players. Back in the days, back in 1990s, you had cassette players as a primary form of listening to music when you were outside. Then you had the CD players that were developed because of how CD technology was improved and made a lot more feasible compared to cassettes, and it had improved sound and everything. So you had the CD player in 2000s, and when we moved forward, we had the MP3 player. The MP3 player totally changed, removed the CD player because it was more portable, it had less battery issues of the sort, and etc. Carried a lot more music. So you can see how when you develop a new product, you can actually, because of your new product status having unique features, you can actually claim a lot of the market that is being that would potentially come to you with no competition. So you have a lot of area for creating profit. However, there are many costs involved in developing new products. This includes because you have a new product that there is nothing like to it. There is no similar products in the market. This means that you have to conduct market research from scratch. So you have no established data, and because you're doing it from scratch, it is more time consuming and it costs more. Also, when you're launching a new product, you have to create a lot of prototypes. There's a lot of trial and error before you get the final product right. And there might be a case where your product might actually not appeal to the market. So you might have produced a product that consumers in real life do not really want. And because of that, there could be a lack of sales. So if your product fails, so because you have lack of sales, your product might actually fail. And once your product fails, it affects the brand image. It could be like a successful brand. Think about McDonald's, or think about Mercedes, or think about Ferrari, or think about any other established brands. And if they launched a product that failed in the market, so this image of failure would be associated with them and would create a lot of negativity. So previously, we've already talked about the image, the loss of image when a new product fails. So we continue on with trying to understand the importance of a brand image. So what exactly is a brand? A brand is a symbol that helps distinguish a company from its competitors. So when you think about McDonald's with its golden arches, when you think about Apple with its Apple logo a bit bitten off, and when you think about Pepsi, all these are brand logos that help you identify instantly amongst its competitors. So a brand name, following on from what a brand is a unique name of a product that helps it distinguish it from others. So why do businesses actually try to create a brand? Because brand inspires brand loyalty from customers. This is when consumers choose to keep buying the same product over its competitors. Not the same product, the same brand over its competitors. So you have a new iPhone, say the iPhone series. Every time a new iPhone comes out, you have some consumers actually waiting out the retail store to buy their new phone. This is a sort of brand loyalty that companies try to inspire, where you keep trying to buy the same brand over and over again. This could be of different products, so you could have the laptop, the cell phone, everything from the same company. So similarly, when we move on, you have a brand image. So brand image is the identity of a product, which gives it personality and helps distinguish it over others. So when you think about Mercedes or Aston Martin or any of these luxury cars, as soon as you hear the name, it portrays an image onto you of luxury, of upper class. Similarly with a Rolex watch. This is what a brand image tries to develop. We move on to trying to understand what a product life cycle is. So what exactly is a product life cycle? Every product has stages. It has stages where it goes from initial to decline. Like how we humans, we're born and we age, and then all of us have to one day go to the next life. So similarly, a product has a development stage where initially market research is conducted before it's created and launched. So everything that is done before launch is considered as development. So once the product is launched, it enters introduction phase, where sales slowly increases as consumers are more aware of the product. And then you enter the growth stage, where sales starts to grow rapidly as more awareness is more consumers are aware, and advertising and promotions are heavily increased to match this stage. So once sales start to grow to a healthy level and start to level out, it enters a maturity stage. So this is the stage where there's a large volume of sales, but there's not much opportunity for growth. And finally, once the product has become outdated, or its fashions change, there has been a change in technology or fashion, the product starts to become obsolete. So this is the decline phase, where the business try to sell off stocks and try to develop a new product. So the importance of identifying the stages of a product life cycle helps develop marketing decisions. So when you're marketing a product, it's very important that you identify at exactly which stage your product is. So when you launch your product initially, then you would try to, provide varieties. You try to create some sort of, think about Pepsi with Pepsi Diet, Pepsi Twist. So these are strategies that could be done for the product itself in order to help the life cycle. Sometimes you have to consider the pricing of the product. So maybe when it's initially entering the market, you could provide the product at a discount compared to its competitors' products. But once established, you could raise the price. Think about also in terms of promotions. So we're considering all the P's here. So in terms of promotion, you could actually provide awareness when at initial stages to create brand loyalty, and then later on, so when in growth you have heavy promotions, but once you reach maturity, you try to differentiate your level of promotion. You try to change the style of promotion. And at last, when you think about places, so at launch you could have limited outlets selling your product, but once you see the demand for your product has heavily increased, you try to increase the outlets. So a business, we talked about maturity stage where the sales grow to a very high level, but growth is stunted, and eventually it goes into decline. So there are some product extension strategies which try to prevent the decline and try to increase its time in the maturity stage. So what can a business actually do? It can increase variation of the original product. So this could be Pepsi with Pepsi Twist. This is a variety to increase the lifetime. You could also sell to new markets. So say for example, your product has started to decline in US. So you have fast food declining in US because of health awareness. You have a lot of consumers trying to eat healthily. So you try to sell into a new market such as China, where the economy is greatly booming and you have more people have more disposable income where they want to spend more in fast food. You could also use new advertising campaign. So you could use new celebrities. You could use a new strategy in order to get people more enthusiastic about your product. So businesses normally they try to have many sort of different products at different stages of the life cycle, because if you have multiple products, if one of the product enters decline, you have another one going from growth to maturity. If you have too many products in maturity stage, although you might be selling a lot, there is a chance that all of them could go into decline and your business may fail. So in order to diversify your risks, you have to make sure that your product are at different stages. Your product portfolio has a lot of variety. Thank you for watching, and see you next session.